Right, so Rebecca's doing an online celebration for our anniversary, which we launched the movie in New York City on April 1. So we're going to put out what I'm going to be doing, I don't know where I'm going to be on April 1. Where's it? Sunday, isn't it? Yeah, I'll be in New York. But we're launching a video which is going to celebrate the last 1 year of our journey as we've gone all around America and Australia. So it's very exciting. 1 year. It's incredible how quick it's gone.
Check. I'm here to welcome Brendan Brazier from Vega. Also, Dan Merritt from our Health Starts Here program here at Whole Foods. And Dan is the Healthy Eating Specialist here at Whole Foods. And we're bringing all of us together to continue to inspire and educate you and answer questions. And we're combining all of our knowledge, wisdom, and experience here to share more with you. So, any other questions tonight? So the question was, when people that really desire this juicing program, that need this juicing program, that don't desire it, but really need this program, how do you go about helping them?
I get asked that question a lot, and I've given this a lot of thought, and you can that saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? So what I have found is, leading by example is a great way to inspire others around you, people you love or people that love you. Because generally what we're talking about here is we have loved ones that we want to get back on a path where they're heading towards health. And so actually telling people what to do doesn't work. I have never ever found a person who's carrying a lot of energy on them that they needed me to come up and tell them that they were carrying a lot of energy. They know it. Telling someone to lose weight doesn't work. If it did, we wouldn't have the epidemic of disease that we have in America today. So I do genuinely believe, and this is what I've done. I've had mothers who ringed about their sons. I've had, wives ringing about their husbands, and they say, well, I'm at wit's end, what can I do? And my advice is, well, first of all, don't tell them about the movie. Don't tell them about me. Just ambush them and say, hey, I heard this great movie's on, and just let them sit down and watch it without them thinking they have to watch it. Okay? Find it as though they found it themselves. That's point one. Point two is then say, you know what, I'm going to give that a go. Don't even ask them to do it. Don't say, hey, do you want to do it with me? No. Say, I'm going to give that a go, and just start doing it. And if they're in the house and, you're the person cooking dinner, well, they're going to be in strife for 10 days, aren't they? So they've got a choice to make. And so then so that's how I think you've really got to just do it yourself and lead by example. And when they ask the question, ask how you're feeling, whatever, be honest. Oh, it's not good, I'm feeling great. Day 4, day 5, I feel great. And then say, look, if you want to do it with me, you're welcome, I'll help you. But I think pushing people and telling them doesn't work.
Yeah, I have a great story to add with that. When I launched Cleanse ATX, I invited my brother, Stephen Burris, to come to Austin and support me with the marketing efforts. And he's very standard American diet, booze, alcohol, meat, potatoes. And he decided to do the cleanse with me. Not for me saying anything, just me leading by example. Me, living mostly raw, plant strong for 6 years. Came to Austin, did the cleanse, and I didn't know this, but he was addicted to a pharmaceutical medication for 4 years. He came, did the cleanse, and in 3 days he was off his medication.
Wow.
In 3 days.
Wow.
And one of the things I share with my community is that all healing is done by request, and that we can't force anything on someone. We lead by example, we shine our light, we drink juice, we have fun, we just love our lifestyle, and then eventually what will happen is someone will come up to us and they'll ask us, what are you doing differently? What's going on in your life? And they'll start to request, they'll start to ask new questions. That is the cue for you as the lighthouse to shine and to share. And then sometimes you just remain peacefully silent and put the film on and say, here, come watch this. So it was really, really beautiful to see my brother heal while he was here. Any other questions tonight?
I'm not suggesting that children do a reboot, obviously, but habits...
Children on the reboot.
No, I'm not suggesting that happens with young children, but habits start young. So...
Habits start young. I'm just repeating so everyone can hear you. Habits start young, yes.
So are you thinking with Whole Foods or your support to do something in terms of...
What am I doing for kids?
Kids, yeah.
Okay. So I've got another couple of theories. As you can hear, I've got a lot of theories. I've given this a lot of thought. I think that, once again, it's leadership in the home and in the school. Now, I think it's easier to start changing things in your own home than it is to change things in schools. Because you got a whole lot of factors going on at schools with big issues, big business involved there. But in the home, you don't. And you can't have a pizza and tell the kids to have broccoli and carrots. That ain't going to work. And likewise, you shouldn't eat broccoli and carrots and let them eat pizza. Now, I get some mothers say, oh, my kids are fussy eaters and that. And I said, well, okay. So what do you reckon happened 10,000 years ago when there wasn't any food around? What do you reckon those 7 and 8-year-olds did? They didn't eat. But we're still the most successful species on the planet. So my view is, you know what? Put the food on the table. They don't eat, they go to bed hungry. I tell you what, after 3 days, they start eating. It does happen, right? They start eating it. Now, once again, I'm not saying that they can't go to their mates or friend's house and have, like, you know, their bread or sodas and those sorts of things, but pretty much, and it's interesting, and if you look at parents that do the parenting like that, when their kids are eating well, when they go to homes where there's high sugar, high fat, high salt, they don't eat as much. They don't feel as good because they eat it. They don't like it. So it does work. It's not something that, I don't think it's cruel, to be honest. I think it's actually cruel to feed them the garbage, to be perfectly frank.
Yep.
Over here.
You want to take that one? Why you can't have tea? What's the issue with tea? What's the issue with tea?
Well, basically, we're talking about a caffeine, and we try to, especially when you're doing a cleanse, we're going to try to get as clear as possible. So typically on a tea, we're going to avoid the caffeine, especially if you're starting to really get a lot of those toxins out of your body. And specifically caffeine, you can actually be able to detox in that same way to be able to get it out of your system.
If you're having non-caffeinated teas, some herbal teas are absolutely fine to have if you're juicing only. But you know Howard Schultz, who owns and started Starbucks, right? You know, the founder of Starbucks, Howard Schultz. So he saw the movie and loved the movie, called me up, said, Joe, can you meet me? And I said, mate, Howard Schultz, of course, I'll come and see you straight away. I dropped everything and went from Soho up to the Four Seasons in Midtown Manhattan and met Howard. He said, mate, I was at lunch yesterday. There was a bloke drinking a green juice who's never drunk green juice in his life. And I said, what's going on? He said, I saw this movie and now I'm drinking. So Howard wanted to meet me and know, this is before the movie was released. This is when I was doing private screenings in New York. And Howard said, I couldn't do it without drinking my coffee. I mean, I couldn't. I said, you know what, Howard, if that's what it's going to take you to do 10 days of just juicing, but you've got to have your coffee, go for it. Like, you do it. Just because I did it this way doesn't mean that that's the way to do it. You know, I'm a big believer in that if I went to the top 10 experts in America and said, what should I eat? I'm going to get 10 different answers. I'm going to get 10 different answers. The one thing I know I'm going to get the agreement on is that you've got to eat a lot of plants. There's no one who's going to tell you not to do that. But all the other nuances, all the other little things, like that's you decide that for yourself. So I'm big on that. And I've met so many people, and I'm sure the people who've done a modified reboot that works for them. And that's something people have bought their juices out. People have never done a reboot. Kurt Engfer, who helped me on the movie, he was great. He was my co-director. He never did just juicing only. But you know what he did? He stopped eating breakfast, and he had 2 juices for breakfast. After 12 months, Kurt lost 40 pounds. Wow. He couldn't believe it. Now, why did he lose 40 pounds? And we were trying to work this out. Because his taste buds changed with his nutrition. Because at the end of the day, when you eat, you're eating for your cells. It's the cells that want the food, not your stomach, not your brain. It's the cells that want it. The 2 trillion cells that make you up. If you feed them what they want, they're not hungry anymore. But if you give them high processed food, high animal product food, there's not enough energy in that food to feed the cells, so they get hungry again. So what actually happened to Kurt is he started making better choices during the day. He didn't eat as much during the day, which is why he lost the 40 pounds. So quite incredible, just by changing one thing.
Question over here.
How do you know?